Have you ever had a machine gun pointed at your head by an Iraqi soldier? Well, guess who has? So I'll start at the beginning. I work in advertising and, it can be a pretty good job sometimes. You often get asked to go on shoots, to shoot TV ads in countries like South Africa. And also, because I'm freelance, I get asked to go out to countries. And on one occasion, I was asked to go out to Saudi Arabia, where I was offered to basically be the creative director of an airline called SAUDIA, who wanted to become more like Emirates. So they flew me out there and they put me up in a nice hotel. And every day I used to run to work. But this agency was in an area of Jeddah, their second city, which was full of consulates and giant mansions. And on the streets, there were amazing cars like giant SUVs and American supercars, muscle cars and hypercars, Lamborghinis and Ferraris. A real feast for the eyes. On one occasion, as I did every day, taking photos, I saw this one building, giant walls all the way around the side and a big flag on the side as well. And in front of it, I just found this really interesting. Quite a lot of the buildings there had these boxes, which were the size of a human with a slat like this, big spotlights on the top of these buildings. Anyway, took a photo of this and walked off, looking at my photo really proudly. And then next thing, my phone was ripped out of my hand and I looked up and then this Iraqi soldier is pointing his machine gun at me, shouting in Arabic, which I don't understand. And then he was looking at my phone and going, la, 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 looking at the photos and clearly thought I was a spy. Anyway, points his machine gun at me, makes me go back to the building where I'd taken this photo, and he made me sit on the street. It's a good job I was wearing dark shorts. Anyway, what felt like a couple of hours was probably a few minutes, because this guy was on the phone to somebody. And then, of course, I heard, Nino, 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 Nino. And the police siren got closer and closer and closer. Then next thing, up pulls a Saudi police car. And out comes this very short and quite dumpy little guy who went over to the soldier. And he started talking to him in Arabic. And he found it quite funny. He got my phone from the soldier and came over to me, and he just very friendly held out his hand and went, "Hello, sir, how are you?" And of course, I said without hesitation, "I'm petrified." And then he said to me, "Sir, answer me this. Why are you taking photos of soldiers and consulates?" And I was like, So anyway, he looked at my photos and he asked me a few questions. Clearly, I'm not a spy. Very quickly established that. And he just sent me on my way. It was the most scary thing I've ever done in my entire life. Well, until the next story that I'll tell you soon. But sent me on my way and I went back to the hotel. And, obviously, Saudi Arabia is a dry country. I could have really done with a drink when I got back. But anyway, I had a 0% beer and I sat in bed staring at the ceiling for about 12 hours, not really sleeping much. And I did even consider coming home, but I'm glad I didn't. This kind of fits with the usual story of Saudi Arabia and people's kind of preconceptions. But I just want to make a footnote that it was actually a really, really great experience. The people were really friendly and warm. I can't tell you how many people used to stop their cars and they would offer to drive me to work. Just complete strangers. And anyway, the place is just going through rapid change and it's not probably what you think. And especially if you've read things like the Daily Mail or the Telegraph, it does not conform with those preconceptions. It's still got a long way to go, but it's actually a really great country. And, I've been to some really weird and wonderful places, and this is one of the best ones. And if you ever get the chance to go somewhere a bit crazy, you know, a bit off the beaten track that's not Benidorm, I suggest you do it.